Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's time for Game 4, which pits Echo Fox against Cloud9. We're going to jump into the players loading onto the Rift. Selecting the blue side is Echo Fox, and here is their lineup. Solo in the top lane, Mike Young in the jungle, Phoenix in mid, Apollo in bot lane, Hakwo at support with coaches Song and Tyler.
Challenging them on the red side today, it's going to be Cloud9. In the top lane, Kumo. In the jungle, Blabber. Mid laner Niski, bot and support Siki and Zazel with coaches Reaper and Rapid Star.
So despite fielding a substitute top laner last week, Cloud9 still seemed as dominant as ever. Kumo was great, and today they're bringing up even more change by bringing Kumo's academy teammate Blabber back into the starting lineup. So more changes here for C9.
Yeah, Kumo looked great last week on the Jace. Excited to see if he's going to be able to maintain that level of performance here and if he gets targeted on that Jace. And Blabber, much more of a known quantity, I would say, in the LCS. Certainly has a really big reputation for his aggressive play, and I'm excited to see what he's going to bring out.
Well, they're up against Echo Fox, who maybe need to be aggressive themselves, but they sit in last place, and they are currently experimenting a little bit with team identity.
Yeah, they certainly are. They tried out some Syndra bot. That was kind of mixed levels of success. The laning went fine, but the game, did not end up going their way. But I am wondering a little bit, where this kind of full scaling style that they actually were having a lot of success with in spring has gone to, right? Maybe it's time to kind of experiment with what got them to spring playoffs, utilizing the Jinx and the Vladimir and these types of picks that seemed to pan out pretty well.
Yeah, it definitely did, and I do want to see that come back. I really do think you're on a Chanter-heavy metagame right now where, okay, yeah, they're picking up bans most of the time, but Karma and Yuumi and Lux and all these other champions, it is very easy to buff up someone to carry for you, and I do want to see that come back from Apollo. I think it would be very successful. I think that would be reasonably good here, but we'll wait to see what comes in. Of course, they have a bunch of aggressive players. Mike Young coming in, another player known for early aggression. Solo in the top lane, I think, has still been a solid performer, so you can always play around the top side of the map instead.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot of options. Mike Young, making his debut with the team last weekend. They did go 0-2, so on the hunt for his first win with Echo Fox LCS team. And it is one of those situations where I feel like a lot of their games have been fairly close, but there are, a little bit of kind of, I think, too many mistakes, too many errors in critical times, and it does feel like oftentimes one or two people will be having a good game, but the rest are not there at the same point, and that's kind of rotating around. So yeah. I think they need to build up a little bit more consistency, and sometimes the players who are not having as good of a game need to allow themselves to just get carried by those who are doing strong and be willing to sit back a little bit more and not feel as though they have to be the one making the play.
I definitely agree. Meanwhile, you've got teams who are doing just the opposite of that, where it feels like it's C9 firing on full cylinders. Of course, CLG took a loss earlier today, so a win here ties with Team Liquid. Just the two of them then would be alone in first place, and with 8 games to play, Sienna can kind of start to build that buffer again. This was a team that just missed out on making finals last split around, and I know C9 are a top competitor, and at 7-3 right now, I think would like to get a playoff bye and make that finals run and make that Worlds run as a champion.
Yeah, definitely the case. I mean, getting that playoff bye, is certainly what is on everyone's mind right now, and Cloud9 attempting to keep pace. Certainly set back a little bit by the loss of Licorice. Now Kumo has been filling in very, very well. I'm also interested to see if teams are going to start to focus him a little bit more. Niski had an interview after their first win last week where he kind of said something along the lines of, Kumo, yeah, he's really good when he gets kind of his champ that he's comfortable on or his champs that he's comfortable on. He did play Jace in both games last week. Will that be taken away, or will he be targeted? And see if players and teams can actually exploit him a little bit.
Well, right now, Echo Fox not willing to ban away the Jace, and probably not getting first picked here either, with Yuumi being on the table, and indeed that is right there. So Kumo can easily play his 3rd straight Jace game and blind pick that into solo, but we'll see if there's anything they want more importantly than that.
Yeah, support Lux would be very, very strong. Certainly Zazel, is fairly experienced on the champion, and Cloud9, has been playing a lot of these kind of Enchanter-style bot lanes. A lot of Sona games, certainly in the equation as well.
Yeah, Sneaky's most played for the split so far. All right, well, there's the Lux, kind of expected. So it is going to be a Yuumi Lux bot lane. Still always want to point out Lux can be played mid. We have seen it a couple times across pro play this year, but you tend to expect and kind of plan for it being support. I don't think she has any absurd counter picks where you're like, oh no, Lux went mid, I lose this matchup now. So it's, kind of fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest strengths of the champion is it's like, okay, they're going for poke, well, you go Guardian. Okay, they're going for all in, well, you go Aftershock. And people generally feel that there is a build and a rune setup that answers most matchups for the Lux. So, that is certainly something that they're going to have going for them. Yuumi Lucian a setup that we have seen showcased by teams around the world, but specifically in NA, we have seen TSM running this a couple times to great effectiveness. Can be quite a strong bottom lane. You do have the speed ups for the Lucian to get really aggressive, to be charging forward. The culling can be set up well by the Yuumi ultimate is also, rooting them.
Sure. It's going to be the first time for both Lucian and Yuumi for these players. Frequently, of course, banned the reason you never get any Yuumi games in there. But ooh, Veigar is going to be locked in now as well. Niski coming back in the champion, his second play on it this split. That is exciting.
Yeah, Veigar coming through. He did bring it out last week. And was very successful on it. And there's been a lot of discussion about the mid lane meta, how it's feeling very stale right now. So much Azir, so much Corki. And people have been kind of imploring pros to be like, all right, find the counter, break the meta. Well, this is, second week, second Veigar pick there for Niski. And I do think that this can be a very effective champion in this sort of style. If you're going to handshake on a farm lane, well, Veigar loves that. Scale up with the AP, utilize your passive, farm up. Because if you do get to those later stages, if you do get to multiple items and have a ton of stacks on your passive, you can realistically Q-ult some of these carries and just kill them from full. It gets pretty absurd.
You can do a lot of damage right there. So now with the Jarvan locked in, they're putting in a couple of jungle bans. Echo Fox also aiming some of the top lane range bans here as well for pretty obvious reasons. Kumo's been playing mostly those kinds of champions. C9 will get first pick once these bans are done, and I still want to see if a Jace ban comes through. There's enough magic damage on the squad with Lux support and Veigar mid that Jace isn't a bad pick, and I really want that question answered. If he gets to play the same champ 3 times in a row, Echo Fox want to deal with that.
Yeah, and then the question also is, are people even worried about that? They will have likely scrimmed against Kumo a fair bit and kind of seen, what champions they believe him to be the most threatening on. Aatrox as well as the Cannon are going to be the targets, so not super worried about the Jace thus far, even though he did play it twice last week. Solo has been a very good top laner, and there are answers to the Jace. So perhaps, you are trying to beta pick like that and bring out a counter or bring out a strong answer. Things along the lines of Yorick even have been considered quite good matchups, but has never really panned out in North America specifically when people have played it.
Well, Cloud9 going to wait until the very end to lock in that top lane pick. We know, of course, Jarvan technically can flex, but I doubt that pretty highly. Echo Fox need a jungler. 2 have been banned away with Sejuani and Silas dropped off the table. Ezreal for Sneaky puts the Lux Ezreal shipping lane down there, and that'll be kind of exciting. They'll be very safe back there and likely won't get poked nearly as hard by that. Yeah, so Gangplank has been one of Solo's better champions up in the top lane. That'll be his 4th. It's already his most played. Now it's game number 4 for this champion, and it doesn't really surprise me much at all.
No, I think he is a really strong Gangplank player, and feels pretty comfortable playing this into most matchups. The question then just becomes, is Kumo willing to play something really aggressive, some sort of counter pick into it to try to really exploit it, or were they just kind of saving his pick for last to protect him a little bit in the draft and make sure that he is not the one being counter picked? Xin, wow. So some Xin Zhao, they're coming out from Mike Young. So this is a much more aggressive look from the jungle. Certainly all about the early game, generally speaking. My question is there enough gank assist, to really kind of warrant this? Where is he going to actually be looking on the map? I would immediately think you're trying to target something like that Veigar, who doesn't have a lot of escapes. But that being said, Corki has no gank assist. You really have no gank assist in any of your lanes whatsoever. So it could just be being utilized to try to bully around the Jarvan, hope that your lanes are able to push in, and then look to kind of get advantages in that way.
Well, mild shock here on the Cloud9 side of things. Would you believe Kumo has picked Jace after all of it? I didn't see it coming. None of you did either, but that's indeed the pick right here. And to your point about Xin Zhao gank assist, I mean, you are looking for aggression with Yuumi and Lucian, although Ezreal and Lux quite safe. But if Jace wants to actually bully Gangplank, you do have to play up. You have to play nearest turret. You have to attack him a lot. So maybe you find your way in the backside there.
Yeah, and you can get advantages, obviously, if you do have pushing lanes just by invading, by attacking Blabber, by protecting your lanes through tracking this opposing jungler. And sometimes you are able to, just through the sheer power of the Xin early game, be able to pull off ganks even without powerful gank assist. Veigar, one of the things that people really talk about as kind of the weak points of this champion is the early game, that he can be picked on before he has a lot of AP, before he has actually a lot of CDR. It's relatively avoidable. All of his abilities are skill shots. He's pretty easy to actually focus, so they may be trying to play around that and keep Niski down here. And if that's the case, we'll see how successful Mike Young and Phoenix are going to be able to be.
All right, Echo Fox, a battle from the bottom of the table here, 2-8 to round up the first 5 weeks, and with 8 games to play, need to shape up quickly. On the Cloud9 side, your third place finisher from last split are in position to keep fighting for first place, and this is a battle that they are expected to win. But you look at the Echo Fox wins they've had so far this split, and it's other playoff teams. It's beating Team Liquid, it's beating Optic Gaming, so maybe that chance to Kingsley could be there even with the Sylas ban. As we are under the Rift, Sylas not here, but Echo Fox 2-8, Cloud9 7-3 open for a battle to be exciting.
That's going to be a good one. It's actually Electrocute here as well from Phoenix, so very aggressive rune choice. We have been seeing a lot more fleet on Corki. That certainly is the standard approach, but going to be dealing a little bit of extra damage here. Early Mana Flow Brand proc will be nice there for Hakuo, and Mike Young is going to be Hail of Blades. So this is the rune setup, which will allow you to proc your knockup incredibly fast. That third hit on the Q does go off so fast with Hail of Blades, and that was a lot of what kind of led to this champion, terrorizing solo queue, terrorizing the jungle, with these sort of level 2 ganks and super aggressive ramped up play. And I think if you are trying to target mid lane, then hey, maybe grabbing the Electrocute for something a little bit more aggressive makes more sense with that game plan than just going fleet.
10 gold given over on both sides here as the ward is killed, and technically Blabber didn't get the money because he walked out of sweeper range, and so only Sneaky got it. It's the most minor thing ever, but technically 10 gold lost. Either way, that's still a nice ward to kill. It's extra money in Sneaky's pocket and XP as well, which I don't believe actually matters in 2-on-2 lanes, but does in 1-on-1s.
Being pretty annoying here is Hakuo and Apollo. Just going to walk up, and I think that's a nice little move, right? If you do expect that they are leashing there, walk up. It's pretty easy to get that one little hit off with Yuumi, generate a little bit of gold, proc your second mana flow very early on, and get the Guardian out of the way as well. You can also see W start here for Apollo, so this is very heavily leading towards that kind of poke style that we did used to see. And it is sorcery as the secondary here from Lucian, so it is mana flow ban on him as well. So that's really kind of what they're looking for. This style did kind of fall out of favor a little bit thanks to some patch changes where they did kind of increase the cost, I do believe, of the W and tried to push the style.
They heard its rank up a lot as well. The damage output is not really as high, but rank 1 of it's fine, and yeah, you get this poke going down.
Yeah, I think it makes quite a bit of sense, right? And despite the fact that Guardian is the traditional answer to poke, that is very helpful, it is not going to be up for all of the poke obviously coming in, and they're looking to try to attack the mana pool of Zeyzal and attack the long cooldowns in the early game.
All right, well, the first attempt here, maybe Cloud9 with Blabber in the top side, and Solo was with the early pressure. There's the EQ landing, going to melee range, looking for the slow. He's going to not flash it, take the damage here, flashes back for the knock-up, and this is going to be Solo going down. First blood comes through to Blabber in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, no getting out of that one, and Blabber's jungle path just seems to have worked out so much better, perhaps just getting that leash being that big of a difference, but he is level 3, Xin is level 2, and wasn't even able to be up there at the same time. So the leash certainly speeding him up quite a lot, and this gank is basically unavoidable once Solo is this far up. As soon as you actually get slowed by the Jace, you're just dead, because what you're going to see here is once you're actually slowed there, Blabber is really just going to wait and hold the Flag and Drag until after you flash, and at that point there's no really escaping it whatsoever. Kumo does end up committing his own flash to knock him back and making even more of a sure thing, but a nice early play there. Nets Blabber first blood.
Well, that's going to look nice right now. C9 definitely one of the very best teams in North America at cultivating talent, finding the right players for the Academy team, and they frequently look pretty good on stage. And another potential win column here for Blabber and Kumo as they sit on a pretty standard bottom lane here, playing backline, poking with the can, using Guardian to block some of this damage, and they're sitting slightly down in farm. I feel like you expect to lose lane slightly when you're against Lucian Yuumi, and it's just a graceful, don't bother ganking for us lane down here. Oh, nice sense right there. I don't know if you saw him on a ward ever, but Shock Blast reveals in Fog of War and tags him right in the face.
No, I don't think he did. The funny thing is, Mike Young probably could have just flashed on him and killed him there because he has no flash, but you don't know that Blabber isn't around, right? That is the big question mark there. So, Blabber now, knowing that Mike Young is spotted on the top side, he's just going to go in and take away those Raptors, and certainly is going to be off to a very, very good start. And when you are playing a champion like Xin Zhao, you really do need to get these early kills, to be getting an advantage, because this is not what I would consider to be a strong champion, from even or behind.
No, but so far, you gotta say, this has been actually a pretty close game. The ultimate farm difference is in the favor of Echo Fox. As Solo, despite the gank earlier on, is we watch this fight play out. It's not great for the Gangplank, but you look at the farm numbers, and he's doing fine.
Yeah.
He gets extra money because he's Gangplank, of course. That Q's printing a little bit more extra as well. And end of the day, it's a tied game gold-wise.
Yeah, and the fact that the kill went to the jungler and not your opposing top laner is always going to make you feel really good. Because at the end of the day, what did Kumo get out of that first blood? He got an assist and he used his flash. Solo still has his flash. You know, so yes, you are down the assist gold, but you would probably trade the 50 gold to have your summoner back up and feel comfortable in that situation. So
like 125, but still, I would still make that choice.
Yeah. So I mean, most of the advantage really is on Blabber, but we'll see. You know, if Solo can get any sort of an edge from that, and if Mike Young, who looks like he's just running straight back up the top. You know, his camps are not available on the top side, so I think he is going to look to just go for a straight up lane gank, run straight up there, flashed on the Jace. He has no flash available, so. With the Hail of Blades, you should be able to pull something off, but Blabber is anticipating this, and he's actually pathing up there as well. His Flag and Drag is on cooldown, though.
Ooh, and he shows an award instance before that thing decays down, so now the all-in on the top side. Solo knocked right back into the Jarvan, who's got it in range for this stuff, but he's going to go for the play. He's going to find the knockup. Electrocute is on. Kumo gets the attack damage, and Niski just there to make sure it's safe. Mike Young unable to be really part of this fight at all.
Yeah, the fact that Niski TP's in actually denies any potential turnaround from Mike Young, right? You know, if you then flash in, sure you can kill the Jace, but there's no way you're going to survive now that Vigor has actually arrived. So again, the play going the way of Cloud9 up on that top side. And Phoenix, you know, not really going to get any sort of an advantage in the mid lane as a result of this either. Maybe gets a couple CS, but here as Blabber shows up, he is up a level. Solo just has no mana, so despite the fact that he does actually flash out, you know, he dodges that Flag and Drag, is going to get knocked down anyway.
It was almost such a good play. He went for the cannon because the cannon was level 6. The Q didn't kill it, so he didn't get the partial mana refund on killing it with Q. He didn't have mana to use his ultimate. I know that feeling, it sucks. But he was so close to turning that fight around. It was actually like, I mean, 12 HP for being a sick play where he lives. It really was so tight. So I can't really admonish him for that. It was really small margins. But end of the day, all right, Scuttle does go over to Blabber. And small margins there.
To be fair, I'm not sure that he actually does live, you know, even if he gets the ultimate off, right?
Yeah,
he did end up hitting 6, but Niski arrives, you have no flash. I think you're dead to rights. But, you know, perhaps could have allowed them to maybe have a chance at turning around and getting a kill on the Jace. Either way, things looking good for Cloud9 up on that top side, but Solo holding his own in the farm at least.
Yeah, and Solo forced to walk back, though, taking a lot of damage now, as this time the kill did come through and this lane's looking less and less close. Quick look at the bottom lane is still the farm lead for Apollo and Hakuo. Do want to point out they're up 18 CS right now at 7.5 minutes. That's really solid. Some lead is expected, but 18 feels quite high, so I want to give them props for that. No, it's done quite landing there.
The Sightstone already actually complete at 7 minutes 50 seconds as well. That is super fast for Hakuo.
Yeah.
You know, by comparison, he actually has basically double the gold that Zeyzal has earned at this point. So, you know, Zeyzal very far away from actually completing his Sightstone, and, you know, that is a really big deal.
Oop. Oh, smites, and it's going to go to Mike Young. Nicely played it there. Blabber couldn't quite get in now. Over the top is Yuumi trying to make the play happen. Niski going to find that kill instead, forcing the team to go around. Nice jump over the wall as Phoenix helps him out. One kill picked up to Cloud9, but I will take Ocean Drake for that.
Yeah, going to be feeling pretty good about that. And just to be clear, not double total gold, double earned income from the support items.
Cross-bank
so,
gold.
You know, Hakuo going to be feeling very, very good about that situation there. But here it is one more time. Echo Fox on the dragon, trying to grab this early Ocean. Is such a powerful dragon, and it is secured there by Mike Young. Now, they do come in, as you say, and they will get the kill onto Mike Young. That going over to Niski is going to be feeling pretty good, grabbing the additional AP there. But Niski now maybe in some trouble, has no ult.
Has to try to run away from this one. Half HP there. Phoenix still on the chase down. Needs to land a couple more rockets. Red buff for the slow. Ignite is on. Niski trying to get him. Low enough to deal some damage. Phoenix finally gets it. And that was actually pretty small margins as now Blabber is there and certainly has the damage up. But buff transfer complete.
Yeah, Niski did such a good job actually delaying there, dodging so many rockets coming out of Phoenix. And at the end of the day, Phoenix committed both of his summoners. You know, it is just that trade kill because Blabber and Zeyzal do arrive. C9 will end up grabbing at least one turret plate here also. So, gonna be feeling pretty good about that trade. Here it is one more time. Package was available. You know that Niski does not have his ult because he just used it in the river, and that is such a big deal there. The Valkyrie does get interrupted by that cage, despite the fact that he can cleanse out. He doesn't have quite as much distance, and then the big one misses. Another rocket did miss there. Flash to the side to try to avoid some damage, but does end up getting hit by the W, and Blabber is able to clean that one up.
And I laughed for Niski. He said, yeah, you know, I'll take that. We handed the buffs over to my jungler, and I got assist gold. So it's going to feel pretty reasonable. That feels like a positive C9 play. And as you mentioned, again, the summoner's going down. That's, again, that's worth gold in itself because it'll manifest into play sometime later.
Yeah, and the Proto Belt now completed there for Niski, so going to be able to give him a little bit more wave clear and also a small amount more of pick opportunity, right? You can use the Proto Belt as kind of this mini dash to be able to jump forward and drop the cage on your opponent. And hopefully be able to capture them with that. Niski intelligently just retreating up to that top side towards Blabber and turn all in now on the bot side.
Thankfully, Arcane Shifter looking against both those skills. They go in a line and never redirect, so when they finally get on you, go the other way around. Now Mike Young getting pushed up to his own jungle, and that's going to find the stun. Proto over the top. Look at the burst damage preyed upon in his own territory. Mike Young goes down.
That was a ghosted Proto Belt Viper coming in. Getting that stun. Really well done there from Niski. And does end up getting another kill. And now this is becoming a bit of a concern here for Mike Young. He's sitting 0-2-0. Hasn't really had any sort of involvement, positively in this early game. And you're going up against this tank Jarvan, who's going to have so much more use in the team fight.
Yep, it's going pretty C9 favorite pretty early on. Now fighting the top side of the wall comes Jarvan yet again. Solo, his health bar is just that, and the dunk comes across, a good flash. Trying to run away, the slow from the ultimate, buying a little bit of space, but no. At the very end of it all, Dragon Strike comes in, and the kill goes over to Blabber.
Yeah, Solo, head in hands there, certainly frustrated as Blabber and Kumo have just been pairing up so effectively. They've been doing such a good job this game, picking on Solo time and time again. Mike Young very far behind, Solo very far behind now, as a result of a lot of this pressure. And Apollo and Hakuo, they're kind of the big hope right now. They're the only ones who are really getting anything out of this. The pressure has been up on the top side, and they are significantly ahead as far as the farm does go.
Yep.
So going to be looking to try to capitalize on an early lead from down there.
It's 3 plates, 30 CS, and still double the frosting money. There is still no sight stun done for Zeyzal yet. He's still sub 500, so a very late sight stun out of that one. But you kind of saw this coming in draft. C9 picked a safe bot lane that would lose gracefully, and I would say have done so. And well, the top side's winning greatly, so the farm lead for Apollo and Hakuo is not enough to offset what the rest of the squad has done this game.
Yeah, and just I think that it's worrying jungle game here for Mike Young. When you pick a really early game champion, you aren't able to get too much done. Even though the gold may be kind of close across the map, he certainly is going to be that weak link, I think, going forward. Gangplank can kind of scale back into it. You don't really get those sort of options as Zen, so we will see what he's going to be able to get done here, but does need to try to protect Solo from these potential dives, even if it is just through vision play. If you're able to get some wards down, that can be enough. But now C9 rotating towards mid, looking to cash in on some of these turret plates. They've already knocked down 2.5, and the Herald is here, so potential to actually grab the first turret right on this push. Well, never mind, goes down the bot side.
Fox winning plenty of gold there, but still answered back in the mid lane, and I probably still take gold on a Veigar over Illusion in a lot of cases here, as the push does finally come through. Turret goes down, and she'll charge once and put mid tier 2.5, and then that's going to happen on its own.
Yeah, a nice move there from Cloud9, honestly. You're losing that 2v2. You're going to lose the bottom lane turret pretty soon, so just move your bottom lane mid. With that Rift Herald, they knock down a turret. Yes, they still lost the first turret, but they get a great turret trade in a losing position, from that bot lane. So going to be feeling really good about that. More gold on the Veigar, and they do have positioning around this dragon. We'll see if Mike Young can get in and make something happen.
That's going to look really nice. Niski's rooted up for the stun, stopped the culling, which was pretty crucial. That would have been a bit more damage coming across. At least he lives, putting a couple spells back down behind him.
Yeah, but, maybe they're going to be able to get something from that. Niski will have to go back to base. If they want to challenge for the dragon, he now has to use the TP. We'll see if it is going to actually get committed here, as Sneaky looking for the poke. I think they likely will TP Niski in, but not happening just yet, so they may be just calling off the dragon.
That's going to go over. Echo Fox still using their bot lane lead to make things work. Blade of the Room thing already done compared to just the sheen and of, Vamp Scepter from Sneaky. Certainly a very big difference in power level there. So Fox still playing through their bottom lane nicely. Sadly, it hasn't been kills. The turret they got was answered. The plates they got were answered. But a reasonably close game, still only 1,500 gold apart, as this Gangplank is farmed well enough to still stay pretty close in gold to Kumo.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to Solo. Despite all the jungle attention, he is farming well. He's still in the farm advantage, and he's going to scale incredibly well towards the later stages of the game. So we'll be feeling pretty damn good about that. Niski looking for the cage.
Well, they find a slow, but there's still no follow-up. Mike Young around the corner, but not going to find his engage either. There's deep wards seeing him anyway.
Yeah, but this Ezreal build is a pretty sad build. It is one of those situations where he was just getting poked so much, he felt he needed to buy a Vamp Scepter to survive the Yuumi, right? And that kind of speaks to how well they're doing, but Solo getting dove again.
And there's so much damage. The knockup's there as well. The cage put in. The TP's not going to matter as Apollo shows up and says, well, my team's already gone. But now it's time for Zazel to be caught out. This Lux trying to run for dear life. No summoners, and Mike Young finally on the board.
Yeah, and they're kind of coming in here onto Blabber. They can actually grab him.
Really close to getting him. He's still rooted in place, though. If they have the cooldowns again in time, they find the W slow. Couple more autos, he's going to flash, but Mike Young might just find the chase. No, nice by Kumo. Tanks the prowling projectile. No slow to be found.
Yeah, not feeling confident enough to go for that potential dive because Nissi was on the roam up, but as Nissi goes back to mid lane, oh, just short.
Apollo, sadly, the culling stopped by minions here as well, so no extra kills picked up, but you can see the signs of life for Echo Fox. Did Apollo? Yes, he did. I think so.
He actually flashed for that culling and then straight into the minion wave. So a bit of an oopsie there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll catch that on a replay and make sure that it wasn't something else. But you know, if you're going to flash for that, you want to be pretty certain you're going to get it. You can see it seems like a little bit of desperation perhaps there from Echo Fox. And now C9 has arrived to the scene. We'll see if Apollo can be punished for having no flash.
A lot of the wave got cleared, so that turret's going to stay alive anyway. And Zazel gets a bit of money for himself now, and his Sightstone's completed finally. And we still sit at a 1,400 gold difference game. Not too gigantic right now. Echo Fox definitely in striking distance.
Nissi just constantly threatening these roams up the top side. You know, he is moving into this Echo Fox jungle with Blabber now. They want to take away this blue buff. Mike Young is going to have to just give it up and back off. Level 11 now for Nissi here. Doing very, very well thus far. Let's check how many passive stacks he already has here. You know, an additional 156 HP.
Oh, goodbye.
Passive.
Goodbye. That's a knockup yet again, and Blabber keeps finding Mike Young in his own jungle and killing him the same place he has before. Death number 3 comes across. Mid lane tier 2 going to fall likewise. Cloud9 now 2-1 in turrets.
Yeah, just another good pick there. And Mike Young has got to just respect the fact that they don't have control over that jungle, right? You know, you just saw them invade and take the blue buff. You don't have the vision to actually make that sort of a play. So they are looking for it once more. So we may actually catch, you know, where Apollo perhaps uses his flash. This was the chase, and oh, okay, so it was used actually defensively. Worried about getting caught by the cage there. That makes a lot more sense. You probably could have got one comboed if he was stunned up, so not a flash for the culling as it had originally appeared. But Cloud9 pressuring on this top side, constantly evading into the jungle of Mike Young and taking that away. Some nice poke, though, from this Yuumi, and Blabber looking to threaten a dive, but Mike Young is running straight up here. Phoenix has arrived.
Culling, health bar's high enough. He's going to be okay right there, and Apollo's going to stay alive, but Nissi now flashless. Gangplank going to set it up. They've already picked up 1 kill so far. Zazel's next up, and Nissi will he be found? Looks like he's far enough away, but that's 2 nice kills now from across the map. Gangplank setting it up.
Yeah, that was very well done, and it feels like the first aggressive use they've had of this GP ultimate throughout the game. It's been constantly having to be used for Solo to try to prevent dives on himself. They are able to capitalize on the fact that some of these flashes were missing from Cloud9, grabbing a couple kills here. Triforce is complete for the Corki. Triforce has now come through for Solo as well, and despite the fact that Solo is 1-4-1, he's actually up 32 CS on Kumo, and I'm going to guess that the gold is very comparable.
He's up.
Actually slightly ahead in gold, despite getting camped this hard, so he's going to be feeling pretty damn good about that, and this next dragon could be fairly critical. Echo Fox has gotten both of the oceans thus far, and will be an Infernal coming up next. So here's the play one more time. So much poke coming out from this Echo Fox bot lane with the Yuumi. They get the flash off Sneaky there, and then they move multiple members up. You can see on the map, Corki is roaming up, Mike Young is running straight up. They know they have the GP ultimate, so essentially 4.5 members available. A good culling, but you can see the power of the Veigar there. Doing about 70-80% of Apollo's health, but GP ultimate layered across 3, no flashes available for them, and no way to escape.
Death Stutter helping with that one. Nice pickup, though, and it's going to be basically a tied game, 200 gold, and I would take 2 Ocean Drakes, 200 gold every single time, so map state-wise, Echo Fox are winning, which is incredibly impressive for how bad the early game looked, but hey, they've scaled. Gangplank's got Triforce, Corki the same, and that's power spikes in. Cleaver going to be the opportunity here for Apollo, actually not Essence Reaver, which not sure if I prefer that build necessarily, but that's the way he's going for it. A bit tankier. It will help him withstand some Veigar damage with the extra health on it.
Yeah, I think that may just be the option. There's so much burst coming across from Cloud9. You may be worried about getting 100-0 there, wants the additional HP, as you're saying. So we'll be playing around that, but they shove in mid lane, go straight over to this Infernal, and could potentially be theirs. But Cloud9 is going to look to chase here.
Good culling damage, able to kite away from Event Horizon, no problem. Apollo taking a couple of shots, but he's got the heals and the movement speed coming out of Yuumi, and they're going to burst down this Infernal Drake rather. Still, Soul's going to be a bit careful. Smite's going to come through. Mike Young claims it, and the first kill. They've already knocked down one kill. C9 forced to run away, but look how low the health bars are sneaky, and Kumo could just die. The rocket's going to be dodged, and the root helping to see this team run away. But another now victory for Fox, picking up the kill and a very big Drake.
Yeah, that is actually huge, grabbing the kill and the dragon, and now they're on the push here. Hakuo has just been running a rampage across this game. It feels like he is hitting so many of these Qs non-stop. He has really been doing so well on the Yuumi this game. It feels like making such a big difference with all the poke that they are actually landing. You know, utilizing the early culling, dropping GP ult, looking for barrels, constant prowling projectiles. They're kind of just getting them the edge in this area. And here's this one more time. The barrel chain does come down. They drop the ulti. And Blabber on a one-way trip there. The rest of the team not able to fight their way through that GP ultimate, and then Prowling Projectile again does get that slow, but it was a nice binding from Zeyzal to stop the chase continuing there from Phoenix.
Zeyzal's gotten around the map, puts down some vision, and Moby starts to figure out where the rest of the team can go and what kind of wards he can put down. Mikhail's Crucible done on that side. Very nearly has the same on Hakuo's.
Yeah, and I really love Mikhail's as a buy. This is something we were actually talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, one of the most powerful things I think about Mikhail's on Yuumi is you always attach to the critical target. You will always be in range of them to immediately Mikhail's, and you cannot be CC'd yourself while being attached. So great. Now you sit on top of Phoenix, he runs a Niski, you get hit by the cage. Well, there's no preventing the Yuumi from Mikhailsing that whatsoever. So that is just such a strong interaction there, and I think certainly makes it a worthwhile buy.
Definitely strong stuff, and there's been a ton of damage as well. Hakuo has done like 1,500 just from Comet, 900 from Cut Down. The multiplier on his other damage, because Yuumi has absurdly low base health, so it always applies at all times. And yeah, has been a huge damage threat here. Wouldn't be surprised to see him above most members on his team.
Yeah, I think so. I think he could definitely be one of the highest damage dealers in the game right now. Cloud9, as always, playing up around this top side as they have been in this game, and you know, trying to constantly attack these blue buffs. I do like the move, and you can see the emphasis on vision up on this top side. You know, dropping all of these pink wards here across this top side. You know, they have so much vision in this area. You know, looking to set up potentially around that Baron. 22 minutes in, if they are able to win a team fight, that is something you can start to look for. And you know, Echo Fox feels like they want to continue pushing the pace. Cloud9, you know, for now, I think do need, you know, a few more items perhaps coming in on the Ezreal. It feels like Sneaky is been fairly far behind the curve for a lot of this game.
Yeah. But scaling up slowly but surely, and eventually they'll get there as items are coming through. We've got max CDR Vega already, 45% without buffs on. It's just runes and everything else doing work. I think that was just Protobot with
Ludensbrock off the Protobot.
All right, well, that's before any abilities, and okay, it's getting scary. Niski can carry this one.
Yeah, I mean, he has 190 additional ability power just from that passive, so it does really start to get frightening. The more CDR you have, the easier it is to stack the additional AP, and it starts to really multiply. Where Veigar is extremely terrifying is when you get a death cap, because then you're starting to multiply all the bonus AP, and you can really get to that point where you can realistically start to actually look for Q into ultimate on some of these non-magic resist carries and just kill them. It becomes very, very frightening, so you have to play very carefully around that. But that being said, Veigar is extremely vulnerable when the cage is down. You know, when you do not actually have that up, you have no dash, you're a relatively slow-moving champion, so can be opportunities to fight back.
Certainly. All right, now has barrier though, so at least he can withstand some of the punishment, even if he can't run away from it too easily. He knocks down some more of this and continues to stack and stack and stack, and there's the first half of death cap. He's got the first of this large rod. As we all know, you get two of them, and your AP goes up by a lot. Cloud9 still looking to push forward though, feeling a bit comfortable, and well, Apollo playing front of back to not get by the cage. Now the rest of Echo Fox, though, looking at this. A couple of rockets come out from Phoenix. He feels safe as well, juking by everything. And now he's going to be careful around this one. He's going to get away from what he can. Does get stunned up, burns the cleanse. And now they're going to go in for the hard engage, looking for a lot of damage. No Blabber in the front. Gets a lot of them across, and Mike Young's going to go down 1 for 0. C9 staying alive. And now is solo caught inside the cage. Niski getting chunked. The rockets might come out. They can't quite find that kill, though. And C9 will stay alive, licking their wounds, but 5v4 on the map.
Oh, that barrier was so big there for Niski, just barely keeping him alive. Blabber does escape, and I mean, it's the two junglers running forward and tanking up that damage, but this is, you know, a Randu and Cinderhulk tank Jarvan going up against a full damage Xin who's going to get burst down, and Niski now coming in on the side.
5 versus 3, no way out easily for Apollo. They're bursting him, he just can't get out. Mikhail's never used, and it's going to be a kill picked up, and now they can go right towards that Baron.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the item just wasn't available in CUI, but I actually can't believe he didn't Mikhail's that. That was something that should have been an easy save on Apollo. He was right there on Phoenix, could have detached and actually Mikhail's Apollo out, but Cloud9 do get a pick off a nice teleport in from Niski and will have control of this Dragon area. Ghost pop here from Niski. He wants
Solo.
Solo.
Is. They're going to scout him out. Now they see him in the mini wave as well. Niski's keeping running forward. They're going to get him there. He eats the orange too early. He misplayed it. Solo. He's not going to get away from this one. They've got the burst damage. The shutdown comes through. That is such a rough misplay. The Drake goes over and a 4th kill.
Yikes. That is definitely not what you want to see from Echo Fox, and it feels like another one of those games where they're so close to being in control, but these small errors here and there are really adding up. Lucian getting caught in the mid lane on this TP with Mikhail's available from Hakuo. This is something you should be able to avoid. You also want to be playing to the bottom side of the lane. And did Mikhail's come through? I'm not actually sure. No, it just never came through. So just no Mikhail's used there. He goes down. Then on the bot side, Solo, you just keep walking through it. Don't actually back off. You have the orange available. He backed up. Orange then walked into the cage as it was actually the delay on spawning, right? So he's on top of it. I think he maybe thought it was going to proc immediately, but the cage hadn't fully appeared.
Yeah.
So the stun is a little bit delayed, but you want to just run straight through that. If the stun hits you, you pop the orange, you keep on running. Maybe would have been dead either way. That one's a little bit hard to say.
Certainly not that way is not the way to do it.
But it's not what you want to see, and it is one of those things that's a little bit tilting, I think, in the middle of the game.
That's really rough right there, but you've still got a close game. The thing to keep in mind is you're still in a game that is 600 gold apart with an Infernal Drake lead. You would still probably take Echo Fox in most cases, but now stuck inside the cage. Apollo running away, big chunk on him. But again, going to stay alive. The small margins are still okay for Echo Fox surviving these plays.
Yeah, they certainly are, right? And you're waiting for this Corki to get items as well. Corki is going to be so strong in the later stages of the game. 1,500 gold on Phoenix. He did take the pit stop for that Hex Drinker, so still looking for that IE, that second item. When he does have IE plus Rapid Fire, he is going to be really a huge threat just himself. And we see, I mean, Solo is still really, really strong. He is a good 1,200 gold ahead of Kumo at this point. He's on 2.5 items, so GP is a really big threat. The Lucian is doing well. As far as gold is concerned, Echo Fox is doing just fine, right? The only person who is really far behind is Mike Young, and he's just kind of going to end up being the sacrificial lamb every fight. I think from here on out, honestly, you should just be building like supportive style items. You should just be going tanky as you can get, I think, on Mike Young, because you're never going to be a damage threat. You're way too far behind. Yeah,
but Sterix, I think, is not quite that, unfortunately. There's no other health in the build, so it's not that big of a shield. It's some tenacity. It's not terrible. Like, it's not a garbage item, but I actually kind of agree that the kind of stuff that we're seeing out of Blabber is arguably better.
Yeah, and I mean, Blabber, was going for that from the start, and I think that makes sense. You don't want to build, Xin as full tank from the start, but when the game goes so tragic, it's like, well, I guess I'm building the Knight's Vow this game. You know, it's one of those situations where I think sometimes that's the best you can get from a bad situation.
Well, game state right now is still 1,000 gold apart, with an Ocean and an Infernal putting Echo Fox at a bit of a better situation their gold might imply, as minion waves keep getting cleared back and forth. The first Zeal done for Apollo, his individual gold still about 1,000 ahead of his opposite member in Sneaky. 60 CS will do that for you in a lot of cases, and a couple of assists on the board. Yeah, and Deathcap now coming through for Niski, 812 AP right now on the Veigar. That is insane. And he is stacking very, very fast. That's fine. That's going to be Cleanse forced out right there out of Phoenix, losing some of his spell. Now has to get away from that one. That's Mikhail's finally being used. That's the reflex you needed out of him. And now the engaged package separates the squad. Blabber trying to run away. He's slowed, though. A lot of damage on a gangplank now as well. Sneaky down to 600 HP. If they find the rockets, one more shot would do him in. They're going to find Zazel. The dunk for Blabber gets Zonias. They should get a second kill now as well. Echo Fox gonna feel comfortable now as Niski puts up the cage and runs away for dear life. 5 feet 3 in the map, though, and Echo Fox have turned it around. Yeah, those are huge kills coming through there for Echo Fox, and they are going to be straight onto the Baron here. Sneaky is going to be TPing back. Kumo looking for poke here. I'm not sure if they can even approach, though. Sneaky, I think, is going to be here maybe too little too late. We'll see if Echo Fox can get it. Niski's burst is more than Smite. Yeah, it is. Q, W, not enough. And nice timing there. Echo Fox pulled back and waited for the burst, then put the Smite in. They grabbed the Baron. Very well played Baron play. Yeah, that is a really scary moment as a jungler. Unlucky.
Rip Baron buff. Still, great play there from Echo Fox overall. Let's watch this one more time. The cage is down, so they feel like they can, perhaps go a little bit more aggressive. Cleanse used on the binding, the ult misses as a result. Then you see them stepping forward here. Solo hitting a lot of barrel chains across this fight. Package through the middle seems so risky, but Phoenix is able to draw so much pressure. Then GP ultimate being layered down. Another barrel landing there on Zeyzal on the side. Phoenix poking away. With that ultimate flashing forward. The exhaust comes through immediately, but he has the stopwatch to buy time for the exhaust to expire, pushing them back, grabbing the Baron, and grabbing a couple kills.
Nicely done. A couple of tank stats got picked up there. Mike King's got his Sterix, then he got a stopwatch here as well to help make sure that his engage doesn't get him killed right away.
So this is actually the Essence Reaver build here from Corki, so not the IE that I was expecting. This is 40% CDR, very heavily kind of geared towards the poke. You have non-stop rockets coming out, you have tons of mana with the Essence Reaver passive, and then you're going to build towards the IE very likely as your next item. So interesting style, they are kind of going up against this poke team, but they are actually looking for very heavy poke through Yuumi, through Corki rockets, utilizing the culling for that, and trying to use this double ocean plus all the Yuumi healing to be what's sustaining through all of this Cloud9 poke.
And I do actually think in the current state of AD carry itemization, this is probably the correct build on every Corki build always. Maybe it's IE first, but I actually really enjoy the double attack damage builds because AD directly feeds into your spell damage, whereas Azeel doesn't do anything for it. So it lets you get better Qs, better Es, better Rs, and yeah, with high CDR, you can throw them out all of the time, and with a little bit of safety, you can auto-attack that turret once in a while anyway. Putting the shots in, out they walk.
Yep, just getting that damage down and backing off, but they don't have multiple lanes really kind of being shoved up right now. You can see it's actually Cloud9 that has the waves pushing, so this is maybe not going to be the most effective Baron push here for Echo Fox. A little bit disappointed to see that they didn't actually set up their other waves and have that pushing up, because Cloud9 has enough wave clear that they might easily hold their inhibitor.
Veigar, Lux, Ezreal, pretty good at doing this kind of stuff, and you can just see the cage comes down, comes back up, comes down, and yeah.
And now Echo Fox is realizing, right, but they've kind of wasted a lot of time, right? There's only 55 seconds left as they're sending Solo up to this top lane. By the time the top lane wave actually gets to the tier 2 there, they may not have any Baron buff left, and Echo Fox really is going to get nothing from this Baron because they did not set up across the map, maybe underestimating the amount of wave clear that Cloud9 had, thinking that they could actually just push them off the turret, but utilizing the Veigar cage to be able to actually group those minions, poke them down, is very effective.
Well, top lane gets pushed a little bit there. Solo, of course, sadly, the one player without Baron buff makes him an awkward split pusher, and he's really, I guess he has one of two TPs in the team. Apollo could have done this as well, but wasn't the one to do so. As more minions fall down, he's going to join the squad, and now we can see what top lane looks like, but you still got to wait for the wave to show up, so the C9 wave clear squad gets rid of mid, and they've got to get top quickly, or that's going to be a dead turret.
I mean, they won't even get a turret with the Baron buff, so it is still, the 1,200 or so gold that they have earned right now. That's not bad. Maybe going to make a liar out of me, but the Baron doesn't.
Not Baron ended.
So
you were right.
Save.
Yep. Galaxy Brain Azale.
Well, I mean, they got one turret at least, so it's not the worst, but certainly not what you're hoping for. From that position, you're hoping to kind of deal a lot of damage with that Baron, because if you can't make any headway with the Baron buff, you certainly are never going to do so in a siege situation without it. So they're going to be much more reliant on getting those kills. One thing Rapid Fire does do is help with that siege situation quite a lot, getting the Sheen Rapid Fire autos off fairly safely when you have the Yuumi attached to you for potential Mikhails and Peel can be something that's pretty good there, and kind of just the utility of being able to get that one auto off with your Sheen for kind of the poke damage through that.
Yep,
but I do agree, this is certainly a very powerful build and is going to be very AD heavy. But will turn on fairly late also here, because you're building so many expensive items, right? You're going Triforce, Essence Reaver, then the IE, so your 3-item spike, also delayed by the Hex Shrinker there, is going to come in very late into the game, and Niski is monstrously strong right now. Time to do another little AP check-in. 962, almost 1K. We may get there this game, but he has a Void Staff on top of it, and it's actually the full Maw coming through from Phoenix.
Yep.
So defensive option.
It is a defensive option. Again, I think it, makes sense with the fact that you are against Veigar, and that is very scary. Sadly, not running Celerity or Transcendent, so not getting free stats out of the extra CDR. He's overcapped now, but the shield obviously is valuable as they see what's going on there. Spot Niski, spot Zeyzal, bit of damage coming across, but as long as he's holding package, or at least holding on the Valkyrie, he's pretty safe here.
Yeah, it actually feels like they're now trying to play towards the Dragon Pit. They are waiting for the Elder, I do believe. Minute remaining on that, but Feels like both teams are going to be kind of locked in this situation where so much just comes down to one potential final fight. Echofox has, though, rotated down to that bottom lane.
Blabber tries, finds a slow, squad's rooted up, and there's the package to keep himself safe, but no major cooldowns were dedicated from the C9 side.
Yeah, and look at them. They're pushing it on this bottom side. They're actually going right for this potential inhibitor here. Mike Young and Apollo knocking down a turret there. They have control, through all this vision, down around this Baron, or rather around the Elder Dragon pit, which is going to be spawning shortly here. Echo Fox are kind of corralling C9 back into their base and may even be able to get another turret.
Mid-tier 2 now down 6-4 in turrets. Echo Fox now definitively winning in this game. 4,000 gold up, still up a Drake.
This is really interesting too. Cloud9 now looking like they want to chase, but Baron and Elder will both be on the map at the same time, so it gets very complex. Where do you go? Do you actually trade the buffs? Are you willing to do that? Nisqy, though, getting low.
Getting a lot of damage, but running backwards. Almost confronted by Apollo, who doesn't flash forward, but they're going to find a fight in the top side of the jungle as well. Mike Young chunked down low. Gets a shield, though. Good play by Yuumi. Hako keeps him alive. Now look at the next play as Blabber gets a shield, runs back out. Echo Fox seem to control the map.
Yeah, and they got the flash off Nisqy there. That is pretty big. They do to get a stopwatch out of Mike Young, but Echo Fox right down. They're going to go for the Elder. Cloud9 are going to make the counterplay. They are going to try to rush Baron here. I don't think either side will be able to contest. I think the Elder is going to go down too slowly to actually get there, and Cloud9 should be able to finish this Baron and just get out.
Seems like they're leaving Apollo to take that one down. They'll grab that one here. True Shot Brush spots the squad, and they will be able to burn it down as well. So both teams get above. Yuumi? Oh, close there, and they're not going to quite see him to put the rocket down in time. So neither team gets taken down on their way to grabbing the buffs.
Yeah, I will say, despite the fact that I think Echofox had the stronger map state, they were the ones who actually pushed Cloud9 back to the map. I would actually prefer the Baron buff because the Baron buff does last the additional minute. So generally speaking, you can go on the defensive. It's hard to push into a Baron buff. It's hard to push into those waves. We've already seen they couldn't even siege that effectively without that. So Cloud9 really just has to wait out the Elder, then try to go aggressive within that last minute of the Baron buff.
And in the sort of short to medium term, that's definitely going to be true. What I'm excited about is second Elder in about 6 minutes when it comes back up again. Because this game's going late from what we can tell. Second Elder is better than a Baron buff. So if it does go that far, then suddenly Echo Fox made the right call. But otherwise, I do agree as Zale that this game state will turn into a C9 game state for that 1 minute of Baron difference.
It's just very precarious because despite the added damage, I mean, if the Vicar ever gets something off, he's almost at 1200 AP now. Like, it's going to be a one combo. I think you could one combo the Corki through the Maw, honestly. I just don't think that you can be protected from that unless you have a GA or something. So we will see. But Cloud9, they got to be careful. You have to respect the power of the Elder during this buff.
Max damage to the Veigar ult is 2,400 damage if you're at 1/3 HP.
That's a lot.
It's high. So
when you add in Luden's proc, the first Q damage, you can get someone with a Q to execute range. And especially if there's any sort of additional poke coming across the top, an Ezreal ult, a Lux ult, anything like that.
Well, at least Echo Fox won't be poked too heavily. They do have double Ocean, which actually is more like triple Ocean, with them currently holding this Elder Dragon buff, but it does feel like they're pushing the waves in, using the burn as long as they can, and then probably playing the back foot for the next minute afterwards. Looking at poke on the Blabber, burning him a little bit there. Sneaky looking for the poke on his side, and, well, honestly, for the last 10 minutes, last 20 minutes, it's been Echo Fox actually getting the better of the map.
It really has, and they're getting very, very strong at this point. But it's all going to come down to execution, right? The Elder has been essentially waited out here from Cloud9. It's now their turn to kind of get out on the map. We will see if they can get anything with this Baron buff. I'm not sure there's enough time, given where they actually have the minion waves and everything. I think that they're just going to accept that trade and continue to wait. Sneaky has been certainly farming up. You can see an IE came through here for Apollo, so he is reaching that late game state. But it's often a lot easier for Ezreal with the additional range to actually get a lot more damage in. So Sneaky now sitting on very strong build here, very poke heavy. It's actually going to be a Mage Eyes as that final item here for Nisqy. So feeling good about his chances to stay alive and perhaps just prioritizing what he could buy right now for kind of the most possible power that he can grab.
He actually needs one more stack to get the extra movement speed on it. Otherwise, it's just 65 AP in an item slot, which worse than flat pen at this point in the game. You want multipliers more than anything. So if he can stack it, it's fine. But if he has money, Spellbinder's Orb is strictly better.
Critically, IE has just come in as well for Phoenix. So many big item completions are now coming in. GA for Kumo, you can see, that is going to be very big for them as well. And it's just so much raw power in both the sides, with really the only true tank being Blabber in this whole game. So any sort of misvision, any sort of catch can be instant death at this point in the game. 40 minutes in with these builds being so damn strong. We are now 2 minutes away from the next Baron, the next Elder, and that, it feels like, is going to be where the game is decided, barring some mistake.
Seems like they'll be spawning at the same time yet again. There's going to be top turret taking a lot of damage, so C9 do feel comfortable here with the Elder Dragon buff gone. They're finding some poke. True Shot Barrage not quite landing, but it does build some space. One more auto attack will kill it. Sneaky's going to walk up. He'll take the damage. Need another auto attack. I don't know if you risk it, though, with Phoenix able to poke you down so much. They're going to have to buy a few more seconds here. They've got to find the opening. It seems almost definitive that it's going to happen.
Ooh, they do get the Mikhails out there, so that is actually a pretty important cooldown being down. Even just that being down, I feel like for Fox, you should back up.
Cage goes down and a turret falls. C9 finally on the map with their 5th turret kill, the first in a long time here. But they finally knocked down top lane tier 2, answering some of the turret lead that Echo Fox had. Now a minute and a half until the neutral objectives come back up, and again, if Echo Fox get the Dragon, it's second Elder. That is such a huge chunk of power. It lasts longer than Baron. The stats it gives are ridiculously high. The burn damage is absurd. If Echo Fox get that, it's very likely they can win with that buff.
Yeah, and setting up around that already. Going to be out here grabbing that scuttle. We'll see how many pinks the team is actually buying up. 5 in the inventory right now for Echo Fox, but there's less slots available, so less pinks able to be bought up. So much of these fights do come down to vision. Who has priority in the area? It's going to be very difficult to actually face check in to either side at this point of the game. So, getting to actually get mid lane priority and utilizing that to move down towards the Dragon or the Baron, your objective of choice, will be so important. And Echo Fox clearly have their eyes on that second Elder. That is really where they want to go. We'll see if Cloud9 are willing to make a move before it does spawn.
No stun for Event Horizon, just wave their back and forth. 30 seconds till these things spawn. You don't have to rush for them just yet, but you do have to get vision control here. C9, a lot of controllers in their side of the map. Trying to knock down Echo Fox. Another True Top Barrage comes out. Not going to find much there.
Yeah,
Cloud9
is posturing very aggressively, though. It feels like Blabber is looking. If he can find an opportunity, I would not be surprised to see him flash in for it. He is stepping up a lot in these fights, and Cloud9 wanting to fight heavily for this vision.
Tanking, Cloud9 able to push forward. The flash forward with the fight right now. A lot of damage with Mike Yemma staying alive. Got the ulti on the shield pops as well, and Blabber is forced out. True Shot Barrage separates Cloud9, and now look at the mana bar. Zazel's basically out, and Blabber has no HP.
Yeah, and they just heal right back up with the Yuumi as well as the fruit in the river here. They are healing right back up. Double Ocean proccing. Oh, and look at this. Solo's actually running it down bot lane. He is trying to force someone from Cloud9 to come back, but Cloud9 could potentially just start up the Elder for themselves.
Feels like Echo Fox do have the sort of way around the map this time around. They got the inside track, what they want to do. Kumo has recall, though. He's actually going to be answering the gangplank. And as they wait for the cooldown to get back around, DP has it pretty soon. Sneaky so terribly low. A lot of burst towards him. And again, Echo Fox can start this one out. Sneaky can take the recall. He has TP and a single Ocean Drake to keep himself a bit more healthy. Solo chunked out by Kumo, though. Big hit comes in. Down below 1k health. Blue buff transferred over, but I don't think Corki needs the stats on either case.
Yeah, they don't, but there's the TP coming back in. They're going to move on to this Dragon. It could come down to this smite, but Cloud9 looking for Phoenix.
Big damage there. Saved up by Yuumi, though. Going to stay at half HP, and now going to continue to lifesteal.
Kumo on the side looking for Shock Blast here. Cloud9 trying to take advantage of the area.
Half HP on Jace. Look at a lot of burst damage coming out from C9's side. Again, if Echo Fox gets this, it's huge. Not bad for C9 either, though. Still got 9,000 health on this Elder Dragon, staying there for the damage. Putting the shields out is the support.
But look at Sneaky, he's getting chunked low, so is Kumo.
Low health bars, gonna find their way in. They don't have the greatest of engages right now. There's no ult yet for the Xin Zhao, but the Sweeper comes out for the wards. No vision inside the pit for C9 as their bodies are gonna reveal this. Nice jump away, gets away from the Event Horizon. TP comes in.
The Veigar could look to combo with Blabber here. It's going to come down to this smite.
Sneaky is low, gets away from the rest of this. No stun coming out. 2,900 health. They're not willing to go for the combo. Here comes the play. Picked up by the Jarvan. Blabber makes the play. And 1 kill's come out towards Sneaky, though, already. It's Blabber, though, who is low. 2 kills in for Echo Fox. 5v3 on the map. They can go over any objective they want.
Yeah, it's 2 for 0 there for Echo Fox. They could potentially try to end the game. They can march it down mid lane. We'll see if they're going to try to go for it or if they want to take the Baron. They are heading to the Baron. They will take the less risky option there, but Cloud9 staving off defeat by getting that Dragon, comboing it with their Jarvan and their Veigar. They get the Elder Dragon away from Echo Fox.
Yeah.
And that may be the only thing that kept them alive in this game.
I agree. If Smite went the other way, it probably ends, but instead it will be Echo Fox taking 2 kills, knocking the buff off 2, grabbing the delayed Baron, and it should still result in a state that Echo Fox can use to push in.
Yeah, so this Dragon was getting so low, and that is why I was thinking they could go for the combo here. So you can see Veigar walks up, zones them off a little bit with the cage, and then they do, as Kumo arrives, look for the combo. The W damage is going to come through here from Niski, timed well with Blabber. There's the W, there's the Q, Smite. Oh my god, Mike Young smote that down to about 100 health. That was incredibly close. And that is a very tough fight for him to win because Veigar does so much damage and is timing it with that J4. But the slimmest of margins, Cloud9 do grab it with their own Smite.
And now they wait out the timer. 1 minute on this moderate power Elder Dragon buff for C9.
Wow,
And
they're going to try to push this.
I think this actually makes sense. They've got a lot of time to work with the Baron buff, and I think their Baron is arguably better than this 2-stack Elder Dragon. Kind of 3, killing Elder itself counts as 1. As well, C9's here to defend, and again, the sieges are very slow from Echo Fox.
Yeah, and we have seen Cloud9 can handle a Baron buff in 1 lane. You need to split the map. You need to push and create pressure in multiple lanes, and Echo Fox has struggled to do that. Perhaps worried about the hard engage, perhaps worried about what happens if someone gets picked on a side, you know, in a 1v1 or anything like that. But they are now pushing in mid lane, they are now pushing in bot lane, and top lane is prepped. So they do have the ability to start threatening across the map.
That's the damage. Yeah, they got to bring out the Yuumi ultimate to dissuade Kumo from diving in, because that could have been a lot of damage up towards this Corki. No Guardian Angel, no stopwatch. He could have been killed potentially. Maybe burn a flash at least. 5,000 gold still the difference here. Baron still on for quite a while, but Elder Dragon buff is now timed out. So this is the power play. This is 90 seconds. If Echo Fox need to get something done, they're going to try in the mid lane right now. Turret down a half HP. Feeling pretty comfortable is the Corki. Bit of poke towards Niski. Half HP on him now.
Yeah, the waves are just not synchronized. That's the problem here. You know, it's one wave coming in mid, Cloud9 goes mid, clears that out. Then the wave comes in bot, they go bot, they clear it out. You know, Echo Fox needs to time out these waves so that they're both coming at the same time. You know, trying to stack and push. Yeah. They may get this turret regardless, though.
They had the stats for it as, well, Lux ult comes out, doesn't get a whole lot done there. They keep pushing in for the inhibitor, but watch out for the timers. There we go, each scored is correctly. Still a minute on Baron buff, and that's the important part because the minions can keep sieging. They can pull attention down to the mid lane as bot keeps taking fire. And it's going to keep taking these shots here, and it's going to go down, and the first inhibitor will finally fall, and Echo Fox claims it.
That Corki poke is just getting so threatening at this point in the game. It really feels like it is this Phoenix and Hakuo combo, utilizing the Yuumi and the Corki, spamming out rockets, spamming out the Yuumi Qs, and trying to poke down Cloud9, and that is how they are actually getting pressure in and around these objectives. Still, one more wave remaining on this Baron buff. 36 seconds. Solo's looking for Niski.
Oh, Solo dropped dangerously low, almost falls. Gonna get away from the Lux ultimate now as well. And knockup is in for the Xin Zhao. Has to walk away now from Blabber. But they're gonna stay alive onto this one as Phoenix looks in. A little bit of damage, gets Niski chunked down to 1k HP as well.
Yeah, that was some risky business. Solo trying to push Niski out. He does chunk him, but he takes the ult to the face, live with a couple % of health. Niski had to run back to base though, so a lot of their wave clear is missing. But the Baron buff is going to expire here, it looks like.
Damage on the Blabber, though, putting him down to 3k. Pretty good hits there. And as Baron is going to time out with a 2,300 gold lead out of it, we have about 2 minutes until the next round of objectives. 30 seconds desync, though. The Baron is going to be afterwards. Looking at the Missile Barrage, though, the max damage for these rockets is, well, with Baron on it, was over 1,000 for a big one rocket. That poke was absurd, but now looking at the play again, they find the stun, they find the root. Damage towards Blabber, he's tanking and look for Solo. Gonna force the Guardian Angel out, but the re-engage is across. Lots of GAs pop now, but C9 low on health. They gotta watch out for their backline. Blabber, the missile not quite gonna find him, but the turret's gonna fall all the same, and C9 forced back to their base to lick their wounds. Second on hip should fall here.
Yeah, very likely going to lose this unless they can actually delay enough because Echo Fox is still fairly low and the other members from Cloud9 are coming back. So Echo Fox, it's risky to stay around. If you get ace, Cloud9 can still just march down and end the game. So Echo Fox will back off.
Yeah.
But Cloud9 are chasing. They have the speed ups.
The winning play might be to run away and heal. There's only a minute left until the buffs spawn, and either team can get second Elder on this one. That could be a completely game-defining pickup. As Super Minions are slowly walking through the bottom lane, that'll be an eventual answer. This recall should be safe for Fox, but 45 seconds is less time than you want to set up objectives.
Yeah, exactly. Cloud9 are going to be the ones already out on the map, so they will be the ones trying to set up around this. Echo Fox have the added advantage of the supers pushing in the bot lane, though. And they do have some vision in this area. We'll see how quickly Echo Fox can get out here. if these Cloud9 members are going to recall. I don't think they are. They're just TPing straight in. They're hoping for a pick on Echo Fox here. And the barrier does get used. He wants to swap back to the flash. That was not a mistake. I think he's actually utilizing that to swap over. So he has the flash and exhaust. He wants to be ready for this team fight. And he's saying those are the two most important summoners.
I agree with that one. Mid lane, the answer right now. Once this wave falls, Elder Dragon spawns. You want the extra road, and it's actually Echo Fox who claim it. Playing their longest game of the split so far. A lot of damage. Mike Young, though, finally got pretty tanky at this point with Merc Treads and the Spectre's Cowl. Survives most of the stamina, but loses the shield. Elder Dragon now alive. Ooh.
Solo is mid lane, mind you. Remember, Solo is not with the team, so if he is too far split up, Echo Fox could get engaged
Really good
on.
poke. And Phoenix actually loses the pack to this one. They got to bring Solo back. This could be good for Cloud9 right now.
But the Ocean Dragons are kicking in and they're healing up, so with the Yuumi. It's gonna be down to the smite again, Freak.
Down to the smite, down to True Shot, Barrage, everything else coming across. Look at the damage to the front line. Mike Young gonna be found out, losing the Guardian Angel. Now the front line also is Blabber, Stoneplate pop. He will fall though, one in for Phoenix. Apollo, look at the kite away, sneaky. Jim Morales finds the kill, but traded back by Niski. Look at the scoreboard though, it is 3 for C9 and 4 alive for Echo Fox.
Echo Fox are pinging towards the Cloud9 base. They're gonna try to surround them.
They slow Kumo, they don't find the prowling projectile just yet, but they could find more damage right here as they keep going forward. Corki, he's got such big damage out there. Niski gonna be found out with the barrel chain. A single Q might kill him. Exhaust is in, buys a bit of space, but they're gonna kill the mid laner. They're gonna find the kills. Down goes Zazel. Down goes Kumor. At least forced back into the base with minions inside there as well. Echo Fox still have 3 alive with just 1 for Cloud9. The TP is there, and I think they might have done it walking right back in. Echo Fox gonna go for the Nexus turrets, and Echo Fox has such a rough start to this year. Only 2 wins, but a win over Cloud9 would be just so impressive. Looking to do it right now as Kumo defends against the world. The second inhibitor falls though. GA about to be popped, and the respawn's just too long. It will be Echo Fox finally picking up a win with the new jungler. Down in kills, doesn't matter. Up in Nexus's Echo Fox win.
And what a game it was. Balanced on a nice edge there for so long. Echo Fox and Cloud9 so evenly matched, but it is Echo Fox coming out on top in that final fight and in the end of the game.
Definitely impressive out of them. Got to give a lot of props over to how they kind of remained tilt-proof. That beginning of the game looked so rough. It was one lane up in farm and nothing else going their way. Solo managed to keep the farm up, remained up in gold. They found Drake after Drake and turned it around in the mid-game, and from about minute 18 onwards, they started getting bigger and bigger leads and finally closed it out in the end.
And I've got to say, Hawkwell was so critical this game, it felt like, for Echo Fox.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like he just invalidated so much of the poke from Cloud9. You know, they had this Ezreal Jace comp, and Echo Fox have not only double Ocean, but they have this Yuumi constantly healing them up, you know, poking nonstop with the Athenes, bringing even more healing with that and the redemption. And, you know, in the late game, it was Yuumi and Corki pairing up and really running these team fights. You could see, you know, Phoenix getting so much poke off, and he had the safety to actually move forward aggressively and go for that poke because the Yuumi is attached to him with the Mikhails, with the redemption, with heal exhaust. You know, so much safety brought in by this champion, and I think Echo Fox really played to the strengths of their comp very, very intelligently. Yeah,
I gotta say, you had 900 damage big ones by the end of the game without neutral buffs onto him, so those poke rockets were doing very, very well. Big win there, and for more on that upset, Riv standing by with the Echo Fox bot laner. Take it away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by Apollo after Echo Fox takes down Cloud9. What an amazing match, back and forth the whole time. It got a little sketchy when couldn't find the engage, but give me your thoughts throughout the match when you were giving those final pushes and you knew you had the win.
Yeah, I mean, the closing out process was kind of slow. I think, especially when you're going against like Veigar. I mean, we know what the champion does, but it just like, I guess it's just a little uncomfortable for us. But yeah, I mean, we were kind of had a shaky early game, but we pulled it back, and then it was just a slow process of winning.
So Mike Young slotting into the roster, and it does kind of seem like it's night and day in the team, going in on things, being together, having a bit more fun. How does it feel to have a new member on and kind of refresh things throughout the split here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always good to bring like a new face in because they always like bring in like different perspectives. You know, we've been playing with each other for a while now, like the 4 of us, and then when Mike comes in, I think he just kind of brings in like a new, just like a new perspective, like a just like different atmosphere, I think. So it was nice that he was brought in, and we're all working really hard. We're in a pretty bad spot in terms of standing, so we just taking it one game at a time and trying to get revenge on the people that we lost to.
Well, actually, that leads into my next question and final. Looking at the top of the table and now at the bottom, we see FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, and Echo Fox starting to have a bit of a surge here. Why do you think it is that the bottom table teams are starting to make an impact?
I wouldn't call us surging yet, but I mean, yeah, we're hoping to surge, and yeah, I think 100 Thieves and yeah, like you said, FlyQuest, they are definitely, they're not like giving up, and I think we're on the same page. Like we don't feel like we're gonna give up. We want to be able to take games, even if it's against the tougher opponents.
Well, a huge win here. Congratulations on that victory. We're gonna throw the State Farm analyst desk to break that one down.
Thank you very much, Riv. What a crazy game there. Huge lead from Cloud9 to kick things off. Follow that up with the comeback from Echo Fox. As Apollo mentioned, maybe not ready to call themselves surging just yet, but it is a nice look for the Echo Fox roster to pick up this win on the back half.
It was a long one, the longest game we've had all summers too. So
Wait, is it really?
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty long. Let's talk about how it got there, though, because again, from the C9 side, things very much aligned with, the C9 that we know, in particular with Blabber in the lineup. Lots of early aggression.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like they picked up where they left off. You have Kumo as well, popping off. They had some early kills, and then Blabber was all over the map, had 100% kill participation early into the game. And that's what you wanted to see out of your young guys, the fact that they were collaborating and finding kills.
And Blabber does play a lot against Mike Young before his promotion from TLA Academy into Echo Fox.
Right.
He's been playing in Academy for a while, and Blabber was 6-1 against Mike Young before this game. So when he comes up with a huge lead, out jungling Mike Young, I'm thinking, it's over for the course. We've seen this a million times, but then the closing, oof, Cloud9 dropped the ball with this one.
And the main problem was the CS difference. Even though they had a 2-0 jungler and Kumo was up 1-0, he was down 20 CS. You look bot lane, they're down 40 CS, lose first tower, and it's just like C9 struggling to recover from their CS deficit, and then they made some mistakes. Mike Young with Hakuo, after the bot lane rotation, ended up picking up a couple kills on the top side, and then slowly started snowballing a different way than I expected.
Right, because as you just saw, that was a very C9-centric, a reel in terms of showing where they got their advantages. But to your point, Scar, right around the 20-minute mark, Echo Fox has a 47 CS lead.
It's not even halfway through the game.
GP hadn't died 4 times, and yet he had that massive lead that you're talking about. And so the gold was largely even at this point, even though the kill score was wildly in C9's favor.
And I think it's because you have too many rookies thrown into your lineup. We're like, yeah, they're great playmakers and they know how to kill people because they've played a lot of solo queue. But this is like, you got to learn how to extend the lead. You didn't take turrets. They were even in turrets. They lost all of the dragons, the first 3 dragons of the game, when you should have all of those because they were down bot pressure. And then they also didn't actually snowball.
The one thing they got was the Rift Herald. And then they did use it mid, but again, didn't even take the turret in that moment.
No, I'm thinking about that, right? Because we were talking, is it too many rookies in? Well, yes, there are a lot of these new players, but Kumo and Blabber play together. They've been playing together last spring split for a while. They were very successful in the Cloud9 Academy, in the Academy scene. Why is it that these two guys that have been playing together suddenly can't synergize with
Well, they can
Niski?
synergize
They
with
got a lot
each
of
other.
kills. Yeah,
right?
Like, the fact that they can't close seems weird to me because I know they have closed when you put them in their respective Academy and LCS leagues for both sides.
From the outside perspective for me, looking at this game, I saw Niski's other game where he also played the same matchup, and I always thought to myself, this matchup was never very good for Veigar. Like, this is a matchup where you have to use Protobelt to cut the edge, but like, Veigar loses to poke comps. And so when you have comps like, GP plus Corki with Yuumi heal alone, countering the poke on the enemy team, as well as like enhancing the poke of the Corki, like Corki just takes over the game. And so I'm surprised he won the other game, and this is a good example of a game where it's like, you're playing Corki into what? Like Protobelt, Veigar, you're playing to Jarvan, you're playing to like Lux and Ezreal, and it just turns out you can just 2v5 them all with Yuumi and Mikhails. Like, they can't do anything.
Right.
So I think that like maybe this is one of the times where you look at the game plan and you're like, well, if we fall behind, we lose. And that's how it felt to me.
Right, but at one point it was 2 to 8 in kills before they handed the couple over. This is one of those games where I look at it and I go, like, if Sven was in that game, do any of us think that they wouldn't have won from that position where they were up 6 kills?
We all predicted C9.
Yeah, we all think C9 is going to win that. So, like, I think that was an example of, like, if the
top side, which is where they snowballed the hardest through kills, and where you have the least experience, if you swap in a little bit more experience either in the top or jungle position, they probably actually snowball that correctly.
And so I think it's fair to levy criticism at Cloud9, right, for dropping the ball in this regard in terms of closing out a game that maybe they should have been able to win. But on the flip side, I think we have to talk about Echo Fox and, again, the fundamentals that allowed them to get to the point of winning the final fight, which is picking up the CS on the map, right? Picking up the dragons when they're available to you. We saw these Ocean Drakes come up big in a lot of these fights alongside the Yuumi sustain. We saw the CS advantages for Echo Fox being the reason why GP is still able to contest with damage in these fights.
It's weird because with the Ocean Drakes, Cloud9 was in a really strange position in how to fight. The Ezreal build is more pokey, so you have all champions that are just poke. It's not flat out stand there and deliver DPS like the Lucian or the Corki can, so they have to go weave in and out with their cooldowns. And when Fox has Yuumi, Gangplank, and all the tools to get past the sustain up that you need for the poke, it's very easy for them to take on these team fights and just march right on through Cloud9, who, without as many Ocean Drakes and weak engage, doesn't hold a candle to the poke that Fox provides.
Yep, I think biggest thing for me was Lucian Yuumi snowballed the bot lane by a lot. Regardless who got subbed in, they shouldn't have been down 40 CS. 30.
That is, I think that's a really fair point.
Wait a minute, look at the damage that Yuumi did. What's the, what?
Poke damage, man.
30, that's
she sits
support.
on- that's all of those team, that's lane phase and all those team fights.
Veigar had
right?
1,200 AP. And Yuumi outmost did the same damage. Yeah, that's
Yuumi-
1,200 AP.
Yuumi will legitimately usually be the 5th highest DPS champion in the game.
The range on her poke is insane.
That's what I'm saying. Yuumi, Corki, like they just had a better poke composition and they got the Ocean. So it felt really bad to play as the Veigar.
All right, things came together for an Echo Fox that was struggling there here in the mid-split. For C9 with two of the younger guys in the lineup. Don't pick it up today. We'll see what they come back with tomorrow. Revisiting our predictions, though, from the top of the day. We have a slight correction because Skara actually predicted 100 Thieves to win this next matchup against Optic.
Flip-flop?
No. I go by this because, like, you know what? I'm on the desk. I don't know if I'm going to be back. I want to go for, like, contrary opinion.
Yeah.
I think this isn't even that bad of a matchup. I'm thinking worst case scenario, this is like a 40-60 matchup. 100 Thieves haven't even looked that bad.
Yeah.
They sub
So
up.
what are the aspects of 100 Thieves that make you feel they can beat Optic?
Their bot lane's actually playing the game now.
Okay.
And
That's
then
a good start.
They've reconnected.
yeah, before I felt like
have
obviously
reconnected.
everyone points to Someday, that's their best player. And then like for some reason now that Someday's out, I think, and their bot lane kind of like had a mental reset. They're like, oh, we can win lane and carry the game. So their bot lane's been performing excellently.
All right.
Even though they lost a star player, they regained some star players on the opposite side of the map.
That's
And,
what I like. Scar comes on the desk to make things interesting for me. We've got one more game before we call it a day where Captain Flowers has a special segment for 100 Thieves fans. You won't want to miss it on the other side.